basic. I don't know the measurements. I'm just gonna kind of tell you. This is 1 stick of real butter with salt. In a non-stick pan or something that's not. I usually do mine over like a 6 on gas. So I just throw it in there. Usually about. I use for a larger ham, like my ham is 15 pounds. This one is, so this is 2 20-ounce things of crushed pineapple. You make your ham. I did about half, which is about 4 tablespoons.
Callie, I need you to do a commercial break.
Hi.
So while that's melting, all I'm doing is just making sure that everything is kind of melted right there. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in there.
Do you leave the juice in?
Yes. People are judgy about that, but who cares? Tell them not to eat your ham. And actually, my brown sugar.
There was one that was open.
Here it is. Only use the dark brown brown sugar. Not the golden brown or the light brown. This is the real stuff. And you gotta kind of put this in there pretty quickly. And I put the sugar in last. Well, next to last. I don't know really how much this is, but like 1, 2, 3.
That's 3 squirts of French's.
Are you sure you
It's probably 4. It's probably 4 or 5 tablespoons. This is ground nutmeg. It's just a little bit. I'm talking like that much. Probably not even like a pinch. Same thing on celery salt.
I would have never thought to put celery salt in there.
Just a little bit. Same thing on the ground mustard. If you do too much, it's going to be nasty. Maybe about half a teaspoon. On the garlic, just about half a teaspoon, maybe even a little less. You do too much on this, and it'll screw everything up. I use garlic salt. And then I use about a teaspoon of salt on ground cinnamon, just enough to kind of take the edge off. Maybe about half a teaspoon. Give it a stir.
Do you have a smaller thing
I'm gonna turn mine down a little bit because for some reason the copper pans do really good. I use a little bit of minced onion, not much at all really. Just enough to maybe a teaspoon. And then, okay, I already got that. So, what I want to do is mix these together. And once those are mixed, just a little bit, it's kind of a quick stir.
apple juice for me?
I put just a little bit
Touching the apple juice.
of salt, or pepper, excuse me. Just enough to basically cover the top. All right, so once that's in there, you can kind of see how it's kind of juicy, but not really enough yet. So I'm going to use a little bit of cornstarch. I don't really measure it, I just pour it in, so I think it's right. It's about probably a tablespoon and a half-ish. Mix this in before you mix in the other stuff. And like kind of right when I just did
So
it.
what does the cornstarch do?
It's gonna help create a reaction and thicken things later.
Okay.
It's kind of like an egg when it emulsifies and makes everything match or like kind of come together. See how it kind of looks like cream corn here?
It does.
All right, so now
You need a thing like it looks like a.
about half a bag of this is about what it's gonna be. It's almost like making, you can ask your mom, like when you make caramel. So maybe a little bit more. But it just depends on, and this is a 1 pound bag, excuse me, a 2 pound bag. So I'm gonna mix this in. Yeah, it's stuff all over. What will happen is, this is hot enough right now that it's gonna melt the sugar into it. And once I see this, I'm gonna turn this back up a little bit because it needs to get a little warmer. So it's kind of like a medium brown. Oops, out of light here.
Now who taught you the secret recipe?
I made it myself.
So Mike Weaver never taught you this?
No, I taught my dad most. My grandma taught me to cook.
Because your dad's a pretty good cook.
I taught him how to make a lot of
But
stuff.
this is not
He
one
knows
of his specialties.
he's like specialties. He's like steak and potato stuff. He's really good at that.
Are you all?
Now see how it's on this side here. It's almost looks like when you're making candy. If you've ever made candy, how it's boiling like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets to that, which is about right now, we're gonna put about that much lemon juice, and then quickly get it in there because this is going to make the reaction. It's like a sweet and sour sauce. That's basically what you're making. And a lot of people will tell you to put jelly in it. You can do that, but not really any need to. Some people
What
like
kind of jelly?
grape jelly. You can do that if you want. One of my favorite ones is plum jelly. I've had people do that.
No. Are you supposed to shake it? Well, don't go yet. Stop. Just stop. It's already.
And see, I can tell from right here. See how it's kind of like real soupy? That's what, when this cools down, we're gonna get this to a boiling point here in a sec. And I can tell it needs more sugar. That's gonna be about right there. So I use like 3/4 of a bag. Kind of have to just eyeball it.
I'm making a video.
Just send it off.
All right, so now what you're gonna do, turn the heat up a little bit. Don't leave. Because if you do, you're gonna get a nasty pan. You wanna get this to boiling, which should be pretty quick. See how it's already starting to kind of boil? So it's 7:38. So from right now, I consider it boiling.
And how long should you let it boil?
For about 30 to 45 seconds. And don't worry that it looks too thin. It'll thicken up as it cools, and also as the cornstarch will help it. But don't forget this or everything goes gross.
Okay, it's a 10-minute video, so do you think that's enough?
All right, so basically, I'm gonna let this get to the boiling, to where it boils, so for about another 30 seconds.
Just
And
put
then-
one on the sides.
And then I'm going to literally take it off of the heat and then just let it sit there. Because what I do, I've already taken the ham out. I cook the ham, you cook the ham about 18 minutes for every pound that there is. So and I just wrap it. I don't do anything to it except wrap it and put the fatty side on the bottom part and wrap it all in tin foil and then just make it like a tent. And then it's gonna have juice. So, okay, so now it's probably boiled to enough. I'm gonna take it off of the heat, but I'm gonna still stir for a sec. So basically the glaze is made. You still have to stir it for just a minute so it doesn't stick to the bottom. So the ham's been resting for about 20 minutes now. You need to let it rest for about 20-25 minutes. 30 is even better. Then you cut up the ham, have your whatever it's called, crock pot. Put some of this on the bottom, just like a couple spoonfuls like this. Put your first layer, then put enough, and then pour a little bit more over it, another, more, another, like a lasagna. And then you can put it even hot, as long as it's in a crock pot that's like that. You can put it in the fridge, and then you can warm it up the next day. It's actually even better the next day because it's taken up more of the stuff. If you make it tomorrow, you can immediately serve it. That's it. Okay, bye.